that's why we are talking about indigenous. How do we make sure that now these indigenous seeds, which are resistant actually, maybe these are some of the things I'll give the slide, but maybe let me show you also the other interesting finding. What about in the water? What is happening? This is exactly what is happening. So the farmer is, spraying his vegetables, but this is a water source, yeah? And then brothers are here picking the water for household use, and someone is already consuming that, yeah? So there's a lot of mess when it comes to food currently. Sorry, we don't have a lot of time. What about these brothers of ours who are deciding not to use indigenous seed? This one is spraying. This white stuff we are seeing is a chemical, not so? But he's half naked up there. And the whole day he's sweating. Yeah? And so the chemical is actually being absorbed in the skin. I hope you get sense of what I'm saying. So there's a lot of mess. Now look at this brother here. He's spraying. These are probably oranges, but he has no gear on his face. So he's just spraying and the chemical is bouncing back to his face. So all these are challenges that we have at hand. Of course, we tried to see when the season was starting, the samples were showing us that 7 chemicals were in water. But in the middle of the season, they had increased to 25 chemicals if you picked water from the water bodies closer to where people are doing agriculture, yeah? I know Onen is going to stop me. These ones I can give them to you a little bit later, but I want to show you something interesting. What is happening in the bodies? We also took samples from our bodies. Said, okay, can we take urine and sweat from people's bodies, especially the farmers who are using those chemicals? Very interestingly, we found chemicals in people's sweat and people's urine. So a lot of science here, but I will not go there. This is a published paper. We can pick it. I can share this a little bit later. Okay, so these are just samples. Now, this is also what is happening in our area. Sorry to a little bit. So I wanted also to appreciate this. This is our area. This is our region. And you're talking about indigenous seed. You're talking about indigenous food. You're talking about this stuff. So as long as people are still drying food like this, Kamwenge people, I hope you are seeing this. I picked all these from across the region. So Kamwenge, Kasese, Bundibujo, Fort Portal. As long as people have cassava, which is indigenous, but they are managing it this way. This is cassava, can you imagine? And this is food. We are talking about food, yeah? And this is maize. This is maize on the road. I mean, food safety and road safety. I hope you get my point here. Now, look at this brother. Whereas we are talking about you're giving people taplins, but someone is using a taplin to cover food on the ground, yeah? Mindset issues, huh? Look at this. This is cassava. This is food on rusted iron sheets. So this is food in the region here. Now, this is a processing plant here. Can you imagine? Someone is processing your indigenous food. I mean, it's crazy. So look at this. This is food. So I don't want you to speak about indigenous and you're not putting context to the safety of what you're going to eat. So you need to be contextual and also try to address issues of safety on how people are actually handling the food. You've seen such drinks. Someone goes to buy a drink like this. It is quarter, it is half, and I mean, it's a lot of stuff. Processing of food, you see, where the food is being poured is where the brother is putting the legs. There's a lot of mess when it comes to real food, and I really didn't want to leave this session before I show this. I know the time is not our ally, but a lot of food loss in the region. Look at this. These are tomatoes, yeah? These are tomatoes. Look at this indigenous seed. Look at it. So there is a lot of mess. Look at these. These are vegetables. But look at where they are. And this is the food we are going to give to our people. All right, so these are our markets, of course. Forgive me for those who are here, but you've seen these markets. Yeah, I mean, yes. So these are some of the communities we come from. These are our areas. This is how we process food. This is how Commando boys are preparing us food. This is how people are cooking food in polythene bags. I mean, so even if we talk about indigenous seed and we are not emphasizing the issue of safety, the consumer would remain at the ransom of each one of us. So there are challenges here, and so you find that now, nutrition-wise, because we are failing to give our children food, this is what is happening to the region. And so these are malnourished kids in our region. You can imagine that 38% of our children are stunted. You can just imagine that 28% of our children in Toro consumed vitamin A, only 28, and only 33 consumed iron-rich foods.
1 more minute.
Yeah, sure. What about this? This is one of our schools here. When I was still around, this is one of the photos I took at lunchtime. And someone is packing a child matoke, but there's nothing else. The only ingredient there is probably salt. And this is a child you want to get a first grade, you know. And our foods are really monotonous. We have a lot of diets that are really comprised of that. And maybe very lastly, I wanted to show you some statistics for malnutrition in this region. You can imagine that all our districts, all our nutrition indicators are in red. Meat is having too much food in the region, but all our areas, all our districts, you can imagine all of these, we are just in red, meaning that our nutrition status of our children is doing badly. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to stop here. And because of the time, next time I'll probably have more time and engage with you. Thank you so much.
Indeed. A better clap for him. Thank you so much. We decided to bring the practicals at the end of the sessions, so that from that point, we can now start the engagements. Let me invite the representative of the ED, KRC, to take us through this session. I'm told Mr. Patrick left, but he assigned somebody. Do you have the person here? Yes. You will cut on your talking and let the people do most of the talking. So you're most welcome. Let's have these interactive sessions. At this session, we shall have it maximum of about 30 minutes and we'll close here. So you're welcome, sir. Let me request my panelists. You can sit here. There can be questions for you. Your consent, you can get back here. And the other panelists also can take up the seat. Yes, Professor as well, you can join at the table for comments. Yes, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, moderator. I'm also privileged to be part of this. And the role is very simple. People have given presentations. A lot of issues have come up. I know people are not noting. So this is the time. So this is the time. If you have any issue, any comment, raise up your hand and we'll take that up, and these people will be able to respond. And this is taking how long? 30 minutes only. So be brief and to the point. Thank you. Let me start from the corner, your name and the comment and the issue.